What is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Krystle Chats, and I have the magnificent Jason Wrobel with me on this magnificent Thursday. It is June 13th. We are at the Comedy Pop-Up Studio, and this is a part two of our last episode. So I wanted to address something. And first of all, can we have a toast?
Oh my God, yes.
We are going to be I'm sipping on some Vibe CBD. He's sipping on Unity CBD. I don't even know what flavor that is. And we have Alex Conn in the studio. He's our honor producer today.
Hello.
What up, Alex?
What's up, guys? You guys just vibing over there?
We're just vibing. We're vibing.
CBD flowing freely.
All right.
Yeah,
Getting loose.
we're getting loose. We're getting loose. I wanted to say, so a couple of things. I wanted to just, last time, again, this podcasting thing, you know, I'm still, it's a learning process, and I didn't introduce you properly last time. I didn't.
We just dived right in, didn't we?
We just went for
Yeah,
it,
we
you know?
did.
And I mean, I have to tell you guys just how magical my guest is today. Like, so Jason and I, if you listen to the last episode, yes, we met because I man crush Monday'd him on Instagram. Because, you know, Alex, I too am a sociopath sometimes. And I'm just like, and I was a raw vegan at the time. And I was like, ooh, a cute chef. Maybe he'll want to hang out with me, which he did. But so Jason, you're amazing. Like you, I was really upset that I just moved into my apartment that I didn't have your book in my possession. So you, how many years ago was that? Was that 2 years ago almost? 3?
That book came out 3 years ago.
3
now.
years
Good Lord.
ago.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and so Eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And can you just talk about that book for just like a quick minute? Like, I mean, I'm obsessed with you and everything that you do. So, yeah, you know. So come on, just tell us a little bit about your journey. Give a 1 minute bio of your magnificence.
That was so sweet. Thank you for that. Thank you for that lead-in.
You're
you make me
welcome.
feel all gushy inside. You make me feel all gushy.
Good.
Boy, okay. So I have been doing this vegan thing for 21 years, half my life now.
Crazy.
Which is nuts to even say it. So mid-90s in Detroit, I was like, you know what? My family's sick. I feel like crap. In Detroit, they're going to think I'm a cult leader or something, but I'm going to do this vegan thing. Fast forward a few years, I went to culinary school and just started doing the social media thing. You know, YouTube came out in 2005.
Wait, so you went to culinary school specifically telling them I want to do plant-based?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, well, it was a plant-based culinary school.
And this is after Columbia.
This is after Columbia. This is after college. It's 5 years after I graduated
Okay.
with theater and marketing. And,
I know Jason looks like he's 25, but, you know, he's kind of a warlock. You're right, Alex. Are you over there thinking like, God dang, how old are you,
Yeah, when
bro?
he said half of his life was 21 years, I was like, that's
Creepy.
pretty impressive.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, guys. I appreciate that.
He looks like he's 21. He looks like he hasn't lived half of his life. He looks younger than me, actually.
Ooh, I mean, it's nuts.
I also forgot to mention I am a vampire as well.
They
I'm
had
not
you on
only vegan-
ice, huh, for a couple years.
Ding,
You're
ding,
like
ding,
freezing.
ding, 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 just permanently hard nipples. I actually don't use a chef's knife. I just carve vegetables with my nips. I just slice them. People throw veggies and it's like. Besides my nipocular proclivities, I just, you know, I've been doing the YouTube thing for about 10 years. I had a TV show on the cooking channel that you can still watch. It's still on Mondays called How to Live to 100. And yeah, put out the cookbook 3 years ago, working on the second book right now. And to me, I try and make healthy living really fun. You know, I'm the antithesis of what I think most people think when they hear the word vegan. I think probably most people think of a really angry, militant, like, fuck you, you should do this because I say it's the most ethical way to live. My whole thing is like, yo, I think just it's going to benefit you and the planet and the animals and the environment if you just eat more fruits and veggies. And if you don't know what to do with them, I'll show you how to use them and make them into delicious recipes that you and your family will enjoy. That's it. I keep it easy. I keep it light. I want to make it fun. I want to make it humorous. And that's what I've always tried to do, babe, is like the videos and the books and the TV show, make it light, make it fun. You know? Because as you know, healthy living, like once you're in it, it's not as intimidating or crazy as people think it is. I think initially when people, I got to eat all this healthy food. And blah, blah, blah. Right now, 2019, especially if you live in California, this is the easiest it has ever been.
Absolutely.
If you want to be vegan or not, if you just want to be healthy and be conscious and like take better care of yourself, y'all, In the mid 90s in Detroit, that shit was hard. Now, come on.
I always tell people about the first book that I bought was the rough, was it Matthew Kenny's first book?
Oh.
When Sorma was on the cover.
it was
with,
Raw Food Real World.
Yeah, Raw Food Real World.
That
and
was dope.
I bought it. I remember I skipped school to go to Barnes & Noble one day just because everyone skips school in high school, right? Don't skip school, I'm sorry. And that was a book that I found, and I remember because like I was always, for the longest time, because of obviously abuse, I've been obsessed with being skinny because of my mom. And I always thought it was like, there's a way to be skinny without having to take diet pills and stuff. And that was and I have the old school cover where they're both on the cover.
Yeah, for the breakup.
Yeah, well, you know about One Lucky Duck and all that, right?
Oh, dude.
Of course. Okay, that's another episode. We don't have to talk about all that. But I just remember the point is I remember being in the grocery store, like looking for. I was like what is even tamari, like little things like that. I was like looking for these items that they had on their recipes, and I was like, I've never even heard of any of this stuff, and help me. I was like, what do you mean you don't know where this is? I'm in a grocery store. So now, fast forward, I guess. Oh my God, that was like 15 years ago.
You've been in this game 15 years.
I was 18, so 14 if the math is right, because I was like 17, 18 when I bought that book. So and that's whenever, and then I remember coming to visit here. I visited my friend Mascana, and he wouldn't even take me to Revolution in Santa Monica when I came for the first time, old school when it was green. Yeah, and I remember it was like, somebody take me here. He's like, I'm not spending $50 for some plants. I was like, please, we don't have this in Texas. So I remember the very first week. My best friend Leslie and her now husband John, they drove out here with me 10 years ago in September, and they left. And I was living in Westwood, and I remember I got in my Jeep, and this was when phone navigation still wasn't quite what it was, and I had the little Garmin navigation dock, yep, and I was like, I'm going to Santa Monica. I went by myself, and I sat at Revolution, and I probably shed one single real tear, and I was like, and there I was finally in that damn restaurant, because I remember like back then, that's still like Google back then. I was like, okay, I gotta go to all these cool restaurants. Like I was obsessed with it, and that was and then that's when I remember I was so poor still poor to the point where my first raw food attempt was I would go to Whole Foods and I'd just get one big box of the salad, and I'd eat half for I'd make a smoothie in the morning, but then I'd eat half of the box salad for lunch, and then I'd finish the second half for dinner. And so I'd like
very efficient. It's very cost effective of you.
Well, and it's very like dangerous because we know now that I was super undercaloried. So of course I started losing all of this weight. I mean, I looked amazing. I mean, my skin started glowing. But see, the thing with it is like, so I was essentially on a cleanse without even knowing I was on the cleanse, because there is a certain amount of calories that you still should get. And again, the point is that I remembered thinking, I was like, this is magic. Ever since like I tried that diet for the first time, I was just like, holy crap. And that's why I always identify with the raw vegan community. Like I'm a raw food advocate because I just love like the amount of magic that has happened behind raw food has always just like blown my mind. And like that's why when a lot of people I've also shitted on, no pun intended, I hate juice cleanses. I mean,
what, you hate juice cleanses?
Okay, I hate juice cleanses. Please, I know somebody's gonna cut this and be like, she hates juice cleanses. I hate them because of the way they're marketed towards a person who's on the standard American diet.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
Jason and I can do juice cleanses, but you people who eat like whatever the hell you want, you will kill yourselves. And that's why I hate them, because like you'll have a place like Press Juicery saying, "Oh, come by our 3-day juice cleanse." Mind you, don't do it, and then it's like people want to go from eating cheeseburgers to doing a juice cleanse to stopping the 3-day juice cleanse to going right back into cheeseburgers.
Well, it's like they detox and then they retox right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, legit. There was this one time.
And it's so dangerous.
Do you know the Punch Bowl in Los Feliz?
Yeah.
Okay,
of course.
LA peeps. There's a dope. The smoothies
Yes,
and the
yes.
juices
I used to go to LACC and I would go there all the time.
So dope. Like
fresh.
For uninitiated, like the juices and smoothies at this place are like ridiculous.
Next level.
I was there like a couple years ago. Some girl walks in. She's like, And legit, like I'm gonna be getting back from Coachella like in a week, and I just like I want to pre-order a cleanse because it's gonna be kind of like Coachella, and I was like, yeah, so you're gonna be high and drunk and eating like shit, and then you just want to come and detox so you can retox again, and it's like same thing. It's like that's not what it's for. It's not so you can like hit the hard reset and then junk your body up again. So to your point, I think it's like a lack of education. In terms of like these kind of protocols, people think it's just like a magic pill. But it's not a magic pill if you keep doing the same shit you've been doing.
People want a quick fix.
But yeah, and I think that's what she hits is it's not like you mentioned having to like research the stuff back before Instagram. If you had any form of fitness aspect, like it was a much different animal. You had to spend hours on the internet figuring out what was bullshit, what wasn't. So these people, they want the quick fix. They're sheeple for everything. The marketing is
Good point.
They want they're also the people who are going to start a multi-level marketing thing because they think they'll be rich in a month, and they're the kind of people who think they'll get skinny if they run for a week. And these are people who want quick fixes anywhere. You just have to,
which is so dangerous because then that's when I would tell people, I would respond like that. They'd be like, "Hey, I want to do a cleanse or juice cleanse," and I'd say, I hate juice cleanses, and I would say, try raw. Because at least if they're trying the raw food diet, they're eating solid food.
Well, try something. I mean, like, I learned back in the day, I did a bunch of different, just whatever was fad dieting, kind of like, I tried CrossFit when I was like 19 and all, you try all the different stuff and you figure out what works for your body.
Exactly.
Juice cleanses might not even work for half the people walking in there who read the poster and were like, that's what I need.
Right.
Well, and to his point, there's a huge difference between getting a juice cleanse at a place like the Punch Bowl versus somewhere like that might be like, no offense, like Pressed, that is like it's super like mass, they make it a mass production.
It's watered down, literally.
Yeah.
And it's old, and you don't know if they've made it 4 or 5 days ago. When juicing, you should be pretty much juicing it and drinking it within 24 hours.
Legit.
So that's something, and that's a whole. We could literally do a whole episode on juicing, but we're not. So I wanted, but no. So that's
speaking of juice.
Yeah.
What you got? What other juice you got, girl?
Yeah, and I'm not raw right now, and I will say that I do. Drinks like this are part of the reason why I love not being raw because I don't even know what the hell this is made out of. Oh, here we go. Oh, ginger juice, peach juice, erythritol, stevia, Ripple. Ripple? What the fuck is Ripple? Anyways, the point is and
I have
Ripple.
I have no idea. What's this one made out of?
I don't know.
Water, beet sugar, erythritol, lemon juice concentrate, citric acid, organic hemp CBD. There's the money. Ashwagandha. I came for the ashwagandha and the CBD.
You can feel or you can't?
No, I came for it.
Oh, you
I
came
for it. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay. When you look, okay.
I'm a really like my body is so sensitive. I think probably whatever eating this way for 21 years that stuff that people might have a higher tolerance for. If I have it even in smaller amounts, it hits me.
Oh,
like I'm a cheap date. If we go out for like a glass of wine, like I'm like literally one glass of wine, and I'm like, just take me home. Just take me home.
I love it.
So cheap date.
Okay. Okay. And actually, raw food is the reason my first when I tried sobriety. I tried to be sober, not tried sobriety. I tried to be sober, which I didn't drink because I remember. Are you a fan of the Raw Food World?
For tips and recipes for healthy living, for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the Raw Food World.
I'll just take that as a okay, maybe.
The fact that I know the theme song.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a motherfucking yeah.
Yes. I remember he was the first one that introduced me to the Norwalk juicer.
Oh, dude, the most expensive juicer on the planet.
The fucking world, bro. And I just want to let you know, I have an Angel juicer. Shout out to my ex-boyfriend. I took that as a freaking parting gift. Holler. Hell
you
yeah.
have an Angel.
I have a motherfucking Angel juicer in this bitch. Alex, if you don't know what that is, it is a motherfucking
Rolls Royce of juicers. Sir.
Oh yeah, it's like I think it's like $1,400.
The Maybach.
Oh, so
it's
so
all
is it better
stainless
than the
steel?
Bullet? Is it better than the
Bruh.
NutriBullet?
Bruh.
I'm messing with you.
This, like props. I didn't even know you rolled like this, man.
Oh yeah. I have an angel juice if you ever want to come through, you know what I'm saying, and make some motherfucking juice, bitch. I got an angel. Well, I remember I told my ex that too because first of all, when I went to Vegas, when I took, we were just talking about how I'm almost on my 10 years in LA, guys. I'm almost an official Angelino. I did go to Vegas for about 6 months. I went to Vegas to cleanse myself. I was on the next level.
That is the opposite of a cleanse.
Yeah.
Nothing cleanse. I'm from Vegas. There's no cleansing in Vegas.
I was sober.
I saw there was a great commercial like a few years ago, and it was like a couple arguing, and they're like, "We got to go to Vegas and fix ourselves," and that was like the whole commercial. And they put production money into this commercial, and I remember thinking, that is the worst place to go to like try to. There's nothing pure for the soul.
Yeah, there's nothing to fix a relationship in turmoil like spending an egregious amount of money doing coke and getting drunk
cheating.
and public nudity and cheating on each other.
On the
Nothing
flip
like
side,
it.
I will say though, there is this Asian market.
It's good for your spirit, though.
There is this Asian market, and I will get it, and I'll tell you guys in the next episode because I don't know off the top of my head. But
Seafood City, is that?
It was.
There's
no.
one out. There's one out here too.
Okay.
Seafood City's out here
It was
too.
like a seafood city, but they had. Remember when I brought you durian?
Oh, yeah,
I made you a durian shake, mangosteen. They're the plug for any exotic fruit. You want jackfruit?
That was such a great. You came to my book launch in Vegas. And
Yes.
you brought me all this exotic ass fruit, and I was like,
I brought you want some of this fresh mangosteen, motherfucker? Like I got that good. It ain't never been.
yeah.
Was that where you went? Seafood City?
It was like a seafood city.
Was it on Maryland Parkway? Do you remember? You probably don't remember.
Oh, you're from Vegas.
I'm from Vegas, yeah.
I remember when you're on the street, you can see the wind. The wind, like when you're on it, it's like a seafood city, and then you can see the wind, like because you're in like the backdrop, and there's that other magical.
You're
vegan
like
restaurant.
off the strip, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like behind
For
the strip.
sure.
Yeah,
You're far.
No,
from
but
the strip, yeah.
you're far from the strip, but you could see it.
Well, yeah, you can see the wind because the wind's not technically on the.
The wind's on the strip,
but
yeah.
it's like isolated.
It's on
I
the
feel
end
like.
of
yeah,
it, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I'll get it for you, and I'll text you as soon as I
Yeah.
figure out what it is. But because I'm like 90% sure it's not Seafood City,
It's
but
not.
it's the same level.
It's
of
like
a
that.
Seafood
Yeah.
City. Yeah.
You know what our equivalent of that is here?
What?
Where you can get all that crazy ass stuff.
Where?
Like, in case anybody wants
Plug
to get
it.
jackfruit, breadfruit, durian, mangosteen, like fresh.
Uh-huh.
There's a place in San Gabriel Valley called the Hawaii Supermarket.
Ooh.
And it's like this where you literally go in. And I'm not talking about like frozen durian. By the way, if anybody doesn't know what durian is, it is this spiky alien fruit that when you rip it open on the inside, if you can do it without impaling yourself on the spikes, is this yellowish, whitish, custardy fruit that smells somewhere like
Cum.
fermented garlic,
I'm just
old
kidding.
jizz, and sweaty socks. But when you eat it, it's like the most ambrosia, divine fucking thing in the world.
And I don't think
and
it
most people don't
stinks.
eat it.
I don't think it stinks.
But we know how you
It's
feel
very
about
sulfury. It's very It's like it is sulfury now. Come on, it's like, and in fact, in Thailand and some Asian countries, it is
But-
illegal. Like on public transportation, they have
It's
like
illegal,
a no durian sign.
and it's a weapon. Like if you use it, like you're
throw it up.
it's
Yo,
you can.
I
put it all
dropped it on my foot 10 years ago for my
Hell
birthday,
no.
09. I dropped one on my foot,
got
and
the
I have a
scar?
puncture. Of course, it was a
Oh my
puncture wound.
God.
It literally punctured my foot.
Wow. Yeah, it's a weapon, and
How little could Mother Nature want you to eat what's in there? They gave it armor and it smells like cum. What is it? You shouldn't be consuming. What's it called? Durian? Durian.
You've never even heard of
No.
it. Wow. Can
no.
I bring some in here?
Yeah. go-
Oh, dude.
That would be so fun.
Or like
How long
shout
does
out.
the smell stay? This is.
Oh, that's true.
This building holds sense. Okay.
We'll eat it outside in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
just kidding.
outdoors is probably.
yeah. Go ahead and
best.
bring it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay.
Durian.
Durian. Okay. What?
Oh, we were talking about Vegas. That's where we were. And you're an Angelino now. You've hit 10 years.
Yeah, but why did I bring that up? Alex is so good at like keeping me on my little like my thing here. Why did I bring up Vegas? I forgot why we brought up Vegas. I mean, I could just keep going.
You were talking about 6 months away from LA, and it doesn't count. You were on vacation. You're an Angelino now, so congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. And so I remember I still was talking about something along the lines of the raw food stuff and like but we can move on. So let's just get on to our next topic. So for the the sake of keeping integrity. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say that last time I'd like to apologize to my listeners if you're listening. I was completely misusing the word transaction. I was definitely trying to say interaction, and I was like, "Oh, it's our first transaction." He didn't give me money. I didn't pay him, or I didn't pay him to go on a date with me. I just wanted to make that very clear that there was no. We made it also clear that Jason and I have never hooked up.
I mean,
So-
I don't know if you come through with some fresh durian, that's transaction.
That is transactional.
That's
Actually, it is.
transactional.
No, I
Okay.
kind of feel like at my book launch, there was a lot of it's like she brings me fresh tropical
She brought
fruit. Like, what does this
$200
mean?
worth of
You
jackfruit.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, wow, this. Okay.
So I have a
Oh, we were
Okay.
talking about the
Okay.
juicer. We were talking
Your
about the angel juicer.
juicer.
Yeah.
The Bentley of
uh-huh.
juicers.
Right, and then the raw food world. Right, okay. I don't remember exactly why I brought up the raw food world, but it was just like the point of like how I basically discovered a lot and learned a lot, and I think it also eventually got triggered from you talking about how the information is so hard
Yeah.
to find, and then you brought up ashwagandha, and it kind of like got me on that level, but. Interaction, Jason. Fast forward. Okay, for the integrity of the podcast, I do have this thing where I kind of talk about like a gossip. Like again, it's the healthy gossip. So
Let's jump in.
And I do want to say that it's funny because like that's I feel like the interesting contrast with me is I am totally into like the healthy lifestyle, but at the same time I love Hollywood. I'm here because I want to be in entertainment. You know, I'm a comic, and I also would like to be an actress or a host or something along those lines. And today, I wanted to talk about what had happened this week. I'm gonna go there. We're going for it. You know, fuck transitions. It's a Kardashian topic.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right angle.
The point,
I thought it was gonna get like I thought we were about to bring up something gruesome. The way
That's pretty gruesome.
the Kardashians.
Okay. Well. Okay. Here we go.
Uh.
The point is that Khloe Kardashian posted this thing, and this is where I want your feedback. She basically said, "I want you guys to know my truth." So if you don't know this, Khloe Kardashian had a baby by Tristan Thompson or whatever his name is, some basketball player.
Yeah, plays for the Cavs.
And then, but when she started dating him, he had another woman pregnant. So she goes, I knew he had another girl pregnant, but his family, his inner circle all told me it was over between those two. And of course, I love trolling comments. I love reading them. I think they're hilarious. If I could count as many like belly laughs that I have, these people, there's a lot of dumbasses in the world, but there's some brilliant idiots as well, because these little sly comments that they say, I'm just like, God, that's gold. Why didn't I think of that? But one girl goes, how is that woman in his past if she's holding his future?
Whoa, that's deep, actually.
And I was
That's
like,
a trolling comment, but that's a deep
it's
trolling
like drop
comment.
the mic, because I feel that. Okay, first of all, it's kind of related to everything that's going on with like the whole abortion thing, and it's like, well, maybe he wanted her to have an abortion, but it's her right. So she's like, you know what, my body, my baby, etc. So that's why in his brain it was over, which God bless that child, because now if somewhere down the road it's like, oh, your father never wanted to keep you in the first place. But I was like,
I think a lot of people at some point in time are gonna realize that their dad left their mom to fuck a Kardashian for a couple years, and we're just gonna have to. That's gonna be part of like your dad didn't even love you. It's like, dude, it was a Kardashian. What'd you want him to do?
and I
like,
talk
stay
about
with my
that.
mom
There'll be
talk
like
about
support
that.
groups just for that.
just for Kardashian.
Just for that specifically.
I do.
Chapters all across the country.
God, those people break homes.
And there's a certain level too. I was talking about this about like people talk about clout chasers or male gold diggers, and you know he was probably like, man, this family is extremely wealthy. Here you go. I'm gonna go get her pregnant, and I'll always be like connected to this wealthy, you know, satanic family that just is.
Oh, they're in.
Sorry, dude. Like that 21-year-old girl is a billionaire. Like that's some satanic shit. Like what? How did,
There must
I-
only be one explanation for it.
okay, I know.
Satan.
It's just bizarre.
Think about
It's so bizarre.
Think about this. She's got an in-law who's like legitimately kind of like like he's special, but he's a musical genius. She's got a dad who's a mom. She's a billionaire. You're right.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's some
Okay.
weird shit.
Can I insert my connection
let's
to
do
the to the family?
Yes.
I was actually mentioned in Kris Jenner's cookbook.
Ooh.
Whoa! I didn't know that.
So
I didn't even know Kris Jenner had a cookbook.
she does, and that's probably why no one else knows about this.
Okay.
And my mom emails me a couple years ago. She's like, "Did you know you're in Kris Jenner's cookbook?" And I was like, "I didn't know Kris Jenner had a cookbook."
Yeah.
And
Side note, Mom, why are you reading Kris Jenner's cookbook?
Exactly.
The lady who's probably never cooked a family meal.
And I knew
There's
it.
all these like stars at like after things, and at the very end, the asterisks are like, by the way, my plastic surgeon is. La, 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 la. If you don't seek the results by cooking these meals, blah blah blah. Wow.
So that's my connection.
Okay. And I'm
take
sorry.
it.
I want
I'll
to
take
apologize.
it.
The whole Satan thing, that's a loose joke. Like, no, I think that's stupid. I don't even believe in Satan. But I believe in satanic-ish things and
I believe in
vibes.
secret societies, and I think that if you are part of the legal team that represents that family, you are part of like you're part of a society that runs the world. I mean, you have.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just if you're one of their managers, agents, any portion of that,
When-
you have actual ability to influence people in the world. So,
When your makeup artist has an assistant,
yeah, there you go.
it's
There you go.
interesting. So
And you think the assistant doesn't have some stories like?
or the assistant doesn't have an assistant too?
Oh yeah, there you go.
NDAs on NDAs on
NDA,
NDAs,
yeah.
man. There's a lot of ink flowing.
Yeah.
The fact that that pregnancy didn't leak too when Kylie was actually, that's some
Hush money.
That's some next level
Hush money.
like power. Okay, now but so what is your opinion like okay, taking all, Kardashian Jenner names aside, like what is your opinion on dating someone who might have a baby on the way that is like, well, guess what? I didn't want that baby and I moved on because for me, and I'll go ahead and give my 2 cents, like I'm not a dude, if you want to believe that, and not biologically at least, and so I don't know what it feels like because I've heard a lot of comedians talk about just how much better it feels to fuck a girl without a condom, okay? But it's like if less than a year ago you're putting your raw dick inside someone and you just so happen to come inside her, I mean, is it really that much of a like, oh yeah, but I've moved on? So he's obviously, it's bullshit, right? Or can you put yourself in the position of a man that just does that to just,
I think it depends it's really about the emotional connection, or I think how in touch that particular guy is with himself and his idea of fatherhood, right? I mean, because to contrast it, like, my relationship with my dad, we're going to get like super real for a second. Like, I don't think he ever really wanted to be a dad, and there's this idea of how you want to show up in the world, right? It's like, okay, maybe I didn't intend on getting this girl pregnant, but if I'm going to show up and be in integrity and just try and be the best dad I can and like deal with the cards I've been dealt, then so be it. But there are some men generally, I mean, especially I think, if you're kind of in that whole generation of like, and I don't know where Tristan Thompson's head is at, but like, get money, fuck bitches, buy fancy
right.
cars. It's
Okay.
it's like this whole culture that, and to be honest, like this culture inculcates as a man, what are the things you should value? Tons of money, fucking a bunch of bitches, doing a bunch of drugs, buying fancy cars, having fancy, I mean, that's it. It's like, as a
Right.
dude, that's success in this culture.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, it kind of doesn't shock me that his response would be like, yeah, babe, it's over, it's done.
Okay.
But also, I do believe to whatever extent karma is real.
Oh,
And
word.
if you bring something into this world, right, like a life, and you don't take care of it, and you don't take emotional or energetic responsibility for what you create, shit has a way of coming back around. I do believe
Okay.
that.
Amen.
I do believe that.
Okay. Alex, you got anything to add in on that?
I do not. I
Okay.
think personally, I'm doing your social media right now. Sorry, I was a little tuned out for
No,
that.
no, no,
No,
Multitasking. Well done.
I didn't want to stay on the topic too long anyways. I just feel like anytime that I feel triggered enough to post about something, but then I hold back and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to put this out there, like I'm like, let's talk about it. And that's why, and that's
No,
exactly,
that's
where
the right
this,
thing to do. Yeah.
that's where this podcast even like came from. I was like, I want to talk about shit that makes me uncomfortable, you know?
Great.
So, yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the statement and not in where it's coming from. So to break it down is a way to see each other. I think that's nice.
Yeah. So okay, good. I like. Yeah, it's simple. I'm glad because it was a kind of a simple answer. I think the way I saw it was right. I just was shocked that Chloe felt she wanted to just put out there like, this is my truth. And mind you, I feel like she's probably the Kardashian that gets dragged the most, you know, because she's like the one that apparently has a different father from infidelity, and you know she's not the best looking one, etc. But I'm just like, stop, because for me, if I dated a guy who had a baby on the way, I would expect the absolute worst. You know, I would just be like, you know what? No. Because for me, it's like, I totally have hooked up with people that I'm not like, I know emotionally in my head, I don't want a future with them.
Right.
But you better believe most of the time there is protection involved. Or if I told myself, if I were to ever get pregnant by this person, I'm taking care of it. I'm not going to bring out, because my thing is like, I want to bring a life into this world knowing that the father wants the kid and I want the kid. And I will say, just to play, you know, on the flip side, have you ever heard of the book Sex at Dawn?
I have. I've not read it.
So you should watch the little TED talk that the guy does, and he talks about how back in the day, there's like the monogamy was it's just a new concept, right? And so what the women used to do back in the villages is they would go to each man for the characteristics, and they'd be like, okay, I want you for the blue eyes, I want you for your brain, and then I need your semen for this, and like, and then once they had the baby, like, okay, I don't need you anymore. The village would raise a child.
For sure.
So it's like, okay, sure. You know, there's that whole idea of like men just like spreading their seed. And it's like, well, you know, I'm just spreading my seed. So which is why I feel like I don't necessarily have the right to speak, because I'm old. I am a woman, and I don't know what it feels like to just want to spread my seed. And I think that's the only reason why my opinion isn't necessarily fair, because, you know, and he might have even said, hey, I got you pregnant. Keep the baby if you want. Like, I'll raise the baby. I'll love the baby, but that doesn't mean I gotta love you. You know, like,
Right.
I can love the baby without loving you.
Right.
It is my baby, but I'll. So that's it. You know, because I just don't know, because I know for me as a woman, if a guy was like, I don't want the baby, please, like, if it's my choice, like, take care of it. I'm not having the baby.
You brought up an interesting sidebar, though.
Which part?
Monogamy. So do you feel that monogamy is something that is biologically hardwired in us, or is it a social convention that's been predicated to the point where we see it as the normal quote unquote option? But see, like now, polyamory and multiple partners and all the divisions and layers of that has been coming up like a hardcore in recent years with Esther Perel, and The Ethical Slut is a book I read recently. Really, really great book.
Ooh, ethical slut.
Yeah, so it's this
Okay.
idea that, you know, monogamy is this thing that has been perpetuated out of the idea of land ownership and property ownership, and families would get together to consolidate power. But the proposition now is like, it's not necessarily a biological imperative or even necessary the way society is structured now. So I've been really reconsidering this, and I'm curious what your opinion is on monogamy versus polyamory. And by opinion, I mean yours, like for your life.
That is a perfect segue to me saying I actually recently started dating someone.
Okay, go on.
And I feel that I can't fully answer that question, because the longest relationship I've ever had is with my pets. You know, like, I'm not one of those people, and I will say that I did cheat on a couple of people, and I'm willing to say that. And even though you could say, oh, but were you technically together? No, I cheated. they were hoping that I was being faithful, and I definitely was not. So I cheated. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I will say there was a guy in the past that I dated who, because of how much I loved him, I was thinking I would not want to, I didn't want to cheat. But we can also, this can also be an entrance into that video we were going to talk about.
Yes.
Because I don't know if him and I just were so afraid of feeling something real. It lasted a month where I was like, I do have a secret that I don't want to say on the podcast yet, but I will say that he basically, I was in a situation where he asked me if I was being loyal, and that really like kind of broke me a little bit, where I was like, how dare you?
Oh.
But in his defense, I'm not saying he knew my history, and I have cheated before. So if I was being a sane person at the time, I'd be like, no, you're different. I'm not cheating on you. I love you. But because I did feel so in love, like there was no way. Him, I wanted it to be a loyal thing. Now, interestingly enough, I don't feel that if I would have stayed with him, he would have been loyal to me.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you want to get into zodiac, or just some people are just, like you said, built a certain way where, again, like especially like alpha males, and just like if there's like a hierarchy, like you're the main one. There will be others, but you're in first place. Like I come home to you. My ex used to say that. He used to go, I'm not cheating. He would flirt. I'm 100% in my mind convinced that he never like physically cheated on me.
Yeah.
But he would outright flirt with women in front of my face, which some women will say that's cheating. Like, you can't flirt with a woman right, like, because if I know I don't ever want my man to be okay with me flirting with someone like right in front of his face. So I remember that was like a big problem. And shout out to that guy, because he actually tried to call me this week, and he said it's not over until we're dead. And in my brain, I was like, honey, you have a better chance of me dying, and in our next life, us trying to work it out again.
It's not over till we're dead.
Yeah. And he was like, it's not over. He was like, we're not dead yet, so it's not over.
That's borderline stalkery, murdery type of talk.
Which is such a contradiction to his personality, because he is absolutely 100% not like that. He never calls late. I don't ever get drunk texts from him. His ego is the size of this universe, and he would never, like, he does reach out. Like, the way I even ever talk to him is I always have him blocked, but every month or so I'll get an email that'll say, will you please unblock me now? Yeah, and then so I unblock him, and I'm like, how are you? I can only tolerate a conversation with him for about 7.5 minutes until I'm like, okay, I'm disconnecting the call now. Take care, talk to you in a month or so when we revisit to make sure we're still, like, all our vitals are working or whatever. But, so the answer to your question is,
yes.
So with the guy now that's in my life, I will say I'm not going to cheat. And the minute, and for me, so yes, the answer to your question is I want monogamy.
Okay.
The minute in my brain where I'm thinking, I don't know, but I don't know because I've never been in a long relationship where I was happy. I've never been in a healthy, long-term relationship. My happiest relationship where I was the most madly in love. Well, first of all, you know about my first love, the guy I lost my virginity to? He passed away. So my first teenage, like, virginity love, like, I'll die for you, I'm obsessed with you, he passed away. So my whole, like, idea of love is also a little, it's a little damaged in the sense that I know what it feels like for somebody to really leave me, so
Yeah.
like I've always kind of had that defense mechanism where it's like I know what it feels like to be left. So I'll always have that in the back of my head, to where it's really easy, like probably what happened with the guy that I loved, 5 years ago. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're not, if you think we move too fast, then let's end it. Even though I was madly in love, I was like, end it. Okay, this is fine. Like, this is nothing I've never felt before. But which is crazy, he actually called me this week too. I have a joke about him, and I basically talk about, because he, I don't care if people know exactly who I'm talking about because I'm going to say all of our business without saying his name. But we split up. I got with Lambo guy, and he got with somebody. And him and I were basically cheating because we would still emotionally contact each other. Yeah. I'm no longer with Lambo guy, obviously, and he's no longer with that girl. But then there was at one point where I left Lambo guy, and I reached out, and I was like, I just want to let you know that I'm single. And he was like, I just want to let you know that my girlfriend is pregnant.
Ooh.
Sips tea.
Mm.
So, fast forward a couple of years now, they're not together. But he's in like in a dark space where it's like, I feel like he would only reach out for me like recently for like sex, like, hey, what's up? Late night, what are you doing? You want to hang out? And it's like, but there's that whole baby mama drama and all that where I'm just like, figure your life out. Like for me, I always talk about like self-love. Like I too, I'm a goddess. I'm a queen. Like I want to put myself on a pedestal to where it's like, and I want to encourage women to do that for themselves to where I would never want a girl to feel that that's ever okay.
Right.
Especially like, I'm not saying my baggage is not that heavy. I don't have a baby daddy, especially I've never been married. And I'm not saying that makes me better or worse than anybody, because we can like, again, that's a long conversation. But for what I feel like my worth is, it's not a 3 a.m. text saying, want to come over and play with my like half working dick.
I mean, half working is better than not working
Damn.
at all. I mean, just as a guy I have a penis. I mean, half working is better than not working at all.
I've had a not working
stuff,
one.
but if it's half working, if it's half filled, you can still get some stuff done. You really can, especially depending on the position. You can make things work with a half filled dick. I'm just saying. Let me state for the record. Anyway.
I've had
and
a
I will
fully
say,
one.
the punchline of the joke is obviously I showed up to his place anyways.
Oh.
That's the punchline.
Flaccid and everything.
And I'll say, he was a generous lover.
And now it's only a quarter working. But,
yeah, he pleasured me in other ways. Right.
What a good boomerang that would have been.
Okay, but the current guy, all I'm gonna say is
His
to
penis
our
works fine.
It does, and to our rule, Jason and I always bring up. You weren't here for this. The fuck yes or the fuck no.
We've talked about this before, though.
Yeah, I had a whole episode labeled that.
Yeah.
It's a fuck yes.
Okay.
Fantastic, Krystle. That's great.
But it's. I'm always going to be the type of person that's like, and this is kind of like why we wanted to continue on our episode too, because we got into this, but we were only scratching the surface.
Okay.
Because I've had like a couple of instances where like, okay, maybe I feel the fuck yes coming on. I feel it. But the playing the devil's advocate is it's still so new. So I'm riding the wave. I'm like, okay, well, so far it's like, and I'll give you examples, and I like to give examples of why. Jason and I talked about how I cut off. Remember the guy, we called him the 3-hour man because when we were together, I just felt exhausted, and I asked the new bae. I was like, hey, what is it that you like about me? And he said, I was like, when did it start happening? And he said, we were at a restaurant. And mind you, what I really did love about him, too, is that he was like, well, do you want to go to a vegan restaurant? Like, he was so considerate to what I might want. When I've had exes verbally abuse me for my love of vegan junk food. They're like, it's so much sugar. Like, why are you eating that? And I'm like, yeah.
Just shaming you for it, right?
Just shaming me like, oh, like it's so bad. Like, why, that's not healthy, et cetera. And I'm like, because I fucking want to. Like, get over yourself. Like, why do you want to go out and hang out in bars? Like, that's just as bad. Like, I want to eat, if I want to eat GMO, like non-freaking gluten-free cookies, like Oreos, because I think they're awesome, like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Are Oreos vegan?
They are.
I'm going vegan now.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay, so that was cool. Like that he even said, like, you know, because obviously you don't have to go to a vegan restaurant to eat vegan food. That's fine. But we were at the restaurant and I said, and I don't usually like to do this because I like to sit across from anybody that I'm eating dinner with because elbows. I said, would you like to sit next to me? Because it was a very like nice, like cozy, like restaurant where the ambiance, it was kind of like the vibe where like sitting next to you, like you know how like the back part is like a couch and then the other person's in the chair. It was more comfortable. And when he was sitting next to me, I was like, it felt peaceful. I was like, oh, it's not any like weird, which is so funny because so he's like, I think he's like my height too. And I asked him, I was like, do you mind if I put my arm around you? Because it is very like emasculating to do this kind of, and I could tell he didn't really like it because you know, the guy always wants to be, you know,
How'd that make you feel?
I could feel my penis crawling into my body.
right? Is it though? So he's not wrong.
No, I honestly,
You don't care?
There's a lot of shit like that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It just
and
doesn't.
I'm not surprised coming from you because you're different. You're definitely an anomaly, you know,
Fucking weirdo alien.
Yeah, vampire.
Yeah.
So that was one. And then we went to a different place for dessert. And I remember I like kind of like put my head on his shoulder and I was like, this is cool. And in my mind, I was like, cool. Because it's interesting. And I would like to talk about physical chemistry for a while because that's something, unfortunately, that, man, I've struggled with, man. Like, I've had beautiful, gorgeous boyfriends where I'm just like, don't touch me, you know? Like, I got to a point where I'm like, I don't want to touch you. Like, I remember, I won't throw under the bus, but it was like about like oral sex. And I'm just like, and he was extremely good looking. And I was just like, that's when the relationship was over. I was just like, no. I have a joke about that too, is that they say a woman's smiling on her wedding day because they know it's the last blowjob she'll ever have to give. But my punchline is like, they're like, Krystle, how do you know you love someone? And it's like, because I want to suck his dick. It's like, if I'm like, yeah, like, well, whip it out, baby. I'm going to show you what a woman's supposed to do with her
Can
man.
I ask you a question about that?
Of course.
Specifically? Because I
Yeah.
reflect on one relationship in particular, that now in hindsight, I was like, maybe this wasn't the best circumstance to say this for the first time. First time she ever told me she loved me when she was sucking my dick.
Ooh, well, yes, fuck yeah, girl. I don't know who you are, but you are the shit. Because to me,
Okay.
well, and we talked about this where you were like, wait a minute, because he asked me on the last episode, he was like, you would rather fuck a guy with a condom than like suck his dick, and I was like, yeah, because basically
The intimacy thing.
yeah, because a guy wearing a condom is basically a dildo with a body attached to it.
Damn. Nice.
You know, it's like, hey, because you know we're not exchanging bodily fluids. The most thing that is hopefully gonna get on me is sweat. You know, it's like, all right, cool, but like you're fucking cum and getting on me, and like if it's like pre-cum, what if you taste like shit? You know, like get.
So I missed this. Are you pro condom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and are you also pro condom?
Well, I mean, if it's new sex, fuck yeah.
So
Because we glassed right over that. You'd mentioned something about new partners and earlier here.
here's the deal with that. I am not. I do the pull out and pray method.
Hell yeah, me too. Because I am anti-birth control.
And the other part of that is I'm a little bit obsessive about like having the conversation of like when's the last time you got tested type of thing. Because it's just something that like for me, I know that if like you're taking care of yourself and like after your last relationship you went out and got tested, like you're taking it seriously to a degree. And I don't know, I feel like in our culture right now there's a little bit of this like, oh, the AIDS crisis was in the 80s. And I'm not saying I'm worried about AIDS, but I'm just saying in general, like I like to have that upfront conversation of like, cool, so do you have any STDs? When's the last time you got tested? Because then I know when I get in and I do have sex with someone, there's like a higher level of trust there if I know we've had the conversation. And to me, people are like, oh, that's so unsexy to have that. I'm like, no, it's not.
That's
it's
so
sexy as hell if someone's that open. And
But
they're
can I say the woman's part here? I will say it is a little abusive though for some women if you're not already like, okay, because you're kind of wording it to where you're already in a committed relationship. I won't, which is interesting because we've had a lot of like levels here to where, you know, monogamy. Are we open? Are we going to be in this weird like we feel that we're committed. We don't have to say it. We feel it. You know, I know. You know. Okay, so one, if you have the committed, like by
Other
the
people
way,
use that line. Damn it!
Right,
I thought that
right.
was my. No, I'm kidding.
So
My line. It's my
if
move.
you have the conversation, by the way, okay, great, you were tested, and I'm not having sex with anybody else. This is where our trust is gonna start developing. Like
sure.
I'm gonna give you my trust. That's a whole different conversation versus like, okay, we're dating. Oh, have you been tested? But we're still not having like the commitment thing. And then you're doing the pulling out and pray. And now the psychological turmoil in a woman's brain when she even has to question whether or not she's pregnant for that 2 weeks leading up to her period is stress. Now, you want to talk about stress? It is damaging. And it's like that is a lot to suffer for a guy who's not committed to you. I'm going to go
that.
through that suffering for a guy who's my man. Like, guys, I'm all about pull out and pray too in a committed relationship.
Yep.
But if it's my man, if it's like some guy and we've been dating for a couple of weeks and I can kind of tell he might be like, not looking for commitment. You know, maybe it's a guy trying to like, you know, climb up a corporate ladder. Or he's an artist and he just doesn't want to be committed right now. That I don't want to pull out and pray for you.
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
I
I'll
feel
pull
that.
out and pray for a man who's my man.
Yeah.
So if you're having like a one night stand, say, or do you pull out and pray?
Okay, so here let's
doesn't do
let's talk about this
Okay.
real quick. Let's talk about this. So I have done a lot of experimenting over the years with many different sexual scenarios, and the one night thing, it doesn't feel good anymore, man. I had to get really honest with myself about what I thought I ought to be doing as a dude, you know, or what again the society is like, yeah, you know, you're supposed to go out and drink and whatever, sing in a rock band and fuck a bunch of girls and like all these things. And as a younger man, like I would try these things, and I just had to get super honest that some of those things honestly did not feel good. And it was like, you're just doing this because this is what you think you ought to be doing as a guy, or it's societally predicated like that's what makes you a man. But now it's so weird because I don't want to have sex with someone unless I feel an emotional connection.
So then
I just don't. That's where I'm at right now. So I actually don't operate in the whole one night stand scenario anymore because to me it takes time to build an emotional connection. And then to me, the sex is much deeper and more gratifying, and I feel better physically and emotionally when I have that type of sexual experience, as opposed to just like, you're hot, let's bang. Like I honestly can't do that anymore. My body, my being won't let me do that anymore. That's for me though.
It doesn't mean you can be emotionally connected to more than one person.
That's true.
That's that comment.
That's true.
And then two is Jason and I talked a lot about that, about when you have sex with someone, like, and that's why for me it's become such a big deal. Like their energy is just on you.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and it's like, oh, and I don't know how long it takes, but like, you know, and until this day, I still have like,
yeah, it's not over till you're dead. That's what I hear. Here.
That was an amazing callback.
bro,
That was an
Sorry, I
amazing
couldn't help it.
callback.
air fist pump.
Thank you. I felt as it was coming out, it felt good. Sorry, go ahead. But anyway,
Oh,
their
that delivery, A plus, bro.
yeah, their
A-
energy is on you. Yeah.
A plus, A plus. I'm just gonna next time you come on, I'm booking you for 2 hours because we don't ever
It's true.
finish, you
True.
know,
Well,
and
it's again, it's
'cause
not over
it
till we're
ain't
dead,
over
clearly.
until we're dead. Okay,
This is episode 497 with Jason. Hello.
He still
Oh,
looks.
yeah.
He still looks 34.
how to
Jesus.
live to be 100, baby.
I only got 12 more years to go.
Yeah, so I feel like that was an awesome conversation and answering your question about my opinion on monogamy. No, like this guy that I'm with now, like that's what I want.
Beautiful.
I expect him to not fuck around, and I'm not gonna fuck around because.
You hear that, Joe?
But
You're listening?
But oh yeah, Alex and I were talking about that. I ain't worried about him fucking. No, but it's hard. It's hard to say how I. If you listen to episode 1 of the Healthy Gossip versus to how I sound now, like there's no, you don't know until you get to that point. I don't know how I'm gonna feel a month from now because he hasn't showed me any like weirdo stuff.
Oh yeah, and it'll come. It always does.
Oh, and then can we just like try really hard to close on that last video that we were talking about? So I sent Jason this video on Instagram, and we'll close out on this topic. And it's about this lady was talking about how she was 1 month pregnant with her husband, and then he looks at her and he goes, "I hate you." To be completely clear here, I do believe that the opposite of love is not hate; it is indifference. Okay. And she was talking about how you're going to fight so much in the first 2 years of a relationship. And I didn't agree with that part. I was like, and I told Jason too, I was like, if I have to be in a relationship with the first 2 years, and I'm going to be alone forever. I don't want to fight for 2 years to prove we love each other. Like in my brain, that's why I'm dating the guy that I'm dating right now, because so far, it's been smooth. There's no calling too much. There's no calling too little. There's I've been trying to toy around with the idea of like being sober again. And I remember like I had went a week and I hadn't smoked or drank or anything like that. And then I went out with some coworkers and I had a drink and I texted him. I was like, "Hey man," I was like, I had a drink tonight. And I'll never forget, I was at the same bar when I was dating the last guy, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, I'm going out with some coworkers," and he's like, "Oh, you ever gonna use that gym membership I got you?" And it was just immediate negativity. Yeah, gross, right? So gross. And I'm like, fuck off and tell me I'm gonna have a good time. It's okay, babe, have a good time. Have a good time with your friends, like, you know? And it was such a new relationship too, where when you're wrinkling your face and it's the first month.
Oof.
Sorry. And it's the first month or two, and when you're making these faces, and that's why to that topic the video that I sent you, I was like, no, I don't want to make this face for 2 fucking years so we can decide if we love each other.
I feel like we need this photo up for our social media.
Like, do you love me? Because let's fight for 2 years and prove our love. No, man. When I told him, hey, I had a drink, and he was like, he's like, what is this? He's like, it's not a competition. You know, like, because I texted him that I felt like I was defeated or whatever. And he's like, "There's no competition. Like, so what?" He's like, "All right, just fix it." And it was just so positive.
It's like, be easy on yourself.
Yes.
Right? Like, like, even when you feel now that's a good sign, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Because, like, we have a tendency to be our own worst enemies.
Yes.
And when we beat ourselves up or we hold ourselves in contempt or we're punitive with ourselves, to have somebody in our lives that's like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. You get to try again. Mm-hmm. You're amazing. Like don't sweat the small stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't let the bullshit get you down. Mm-hmm. And to have someone have that kind of reflection in that mirror to remind you of those things, that's beautiful. Honestly, it is.
Yeah.
Especially when you've experienced the opposite, where someone wants to tear you down and criticize you.
Yeah. And and that is my baggage, that I always send out text waiting for someone to say some shit that I'm going to be like, "Don't talk to me like that."
Oh, like you expect it.
Oh, yeah. I'm so, like, broken to this point where I'm just like, say something fucked up so I can tell you not to talk to me. Let me tell you not to say that because I don't deserve that. And there's not been any of that, where it's just been like, "Hope you're having a good day. Like, need anything?" And, like, again, not... I'm the only thing I'm doing is I'm just gonna take it one day at a time.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, one day at a time.
And to your point though about like you know, keeping it easy and light and flowing versus this video you sent me. So my initial reaction to this video, right, was that you hear advice from people in relations to like, well, it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to just feel right. Like, yes, and I think that when disagreements do come up, when you don't see eye to eye, when people get emotionally triggered by shit, there's a way to have a discourse that can be emotionally charged, but still loving and constructive. So when I watched that video, and she's like, "My husband said he hated me," like, I started to transpose that on how I conduct myself in relationships, right? And I've had some moments with people, right? But I have never said to someone I hated them. Those words have never come out of my mouth.
Wow.
Because to me, that is a statement that has so much weight and depth and seriousness. Mm-hmm. Like that is like hate. Mm-hmm. Like I can understand you're pissing me off right now, so fucking mad at you, so annoyed with you, can't stand you. But hate, I hate, whoa. Like,
I
to
have.
me, I'm walking out the motherfucking door.
I've said it.
Like, I'm saying right now,
I've-
like that's like pretty damn close to a deal breaker for me, simply because it's not an expectation that I'm not going to trigger this person or piss this person off or annoy them. I know that's going to happen. But it's the way that that person can respond. It's okay that you're angry. It's okay that you're pissed off. But, like, man, words are energetically charged.
It's
like,
hard
they
to
really
have-
are.
Yeah, it's hard to
Words-
have hate and hell yes. If you're
Yeah.
hell yes or no, it's hard to have
and,
hate.
and
Absolutely.
it's like when I'm in, like, we will be in the trenches together. It ain't always going to be pretty, and there's going to be moments of visceral, like, pain, suffering, anger. Like, that's to be expected in a relationship of that kind of depth, any relationship of that depth. But, like, whoa, like that. I don't know. For me,
with the baby inside
that's
of
serious, man. And then her
Yeah.
point in that video about, like, well, it takes these moments to, like, crack our hearts wide open.
And then
I
we
was
just need
watching
to
it, rolling
hold
my
each
eyes.
other.
No, I was rolling
Yeah.
my eyes, going like, I don't know. I think it says a lot when a person is confronted with hardship, when a person is confronted with their own bullshit, when you're with somebody and you love and you want to strangle them, but you don't strangle them. Like, it's, you know, I don't know. Just someone ripping out "I hate you" in the middle of a fight. I'm like, I don't know that you're an emotionally developed enough human being for me to want to be with. And no
Yeah.
disrespect for what you've said to people in the past. I'm saying right now.
And I wasn't,
if
and that
someone-
relationship is over.
If someone were to bust that out on me now, I'd be like, we are not on the same page. If you're going to tell me you hate me, that's a loaded word, man. Loaded.
Yeah.
And I think there's other ways to crack your heart open other than, like, going there. Like, I don't know. That video was a little bit pedantic and simpleton for me. I'm like, and they put that, like, dramatic word. It's on Goalcast, and they
And-
put dramatic music behind it,
and
so
we
it's
didn't
supposed to be
even-
profound.
We didn't
Like,
even get
this
to
isn't
hear what the
profound.
fight was about.
This isn't profound.
No, and I'm
sorry.
so glad that you felt that way about it, because me too. To your point about the sheeple, there's gonna be so many people in abusive relationships who watch that and go,
I gotta hang in there.
"It's okay."
Yeah, that he tells me he hates me while I'm pregnant.
And you gave
And he throws me down a flight of stairs.
the-
It's okay. It's cracking my heart and my rib cage wide open.
absolute answer I was looking
But
for.
if it doesn't kill us, it'll make us stronger.
Jesus
because
Christ.
it's not over until we're dead. On that note, guys.
Title
again,
of this podcast.
It's not over till we're dead.
Not over until we're dead. Okay, guys, we have to wrap it up. I can't believe I had so much fun. It goes by too fast. That's not what she said. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming back.
It's always good to be with you, babe.
Jason.
Thank you.
Yes, I love you, Alex. Thank you. I love you. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comedy Pop Up, the Healthy Gossip Podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.